Hi, welcome back everyone. So today is part 2 of the present perfect. And if you missed part 1, you can always go back and take a look at that and just kind of review those characteristics of present perfect. So today we're going to look at the 5 ways that we use the present perfect. Now let's just kind of review a couple of things about that. So present perfect uses the structure has or have plus the past participle, okay? Remember, has or have depending on singular or plural subject. Past participle uses ed, if the verb is a regular verb, ed. If it's irregular, it will change its form completely. And we covered all of that in part 1. So let's just get started here. The first way is with experience. I have the experience of, or I have never had the experience of. So something that's part of your experience. For example, I have been to France, or I have never been to France. And notice we have the past participle of be, which is been. Okay, when someone says, have you been there before? Been. You can say, I have seen that movie before, or I have seen that movie. I have never seen that movie. Okay, so you can say before, in any of the past experience, or you don't have to say before. I can also say, I've known someone, for a period of time. For example, I've known Kara since 2005. Okay, since that point in time, 2005, all the way to the present. Okay, so that's not one particular time. It's still in my experience. I have known Kara since 2005. And know is one of those non-continuous verbs, so I don't say I have been knowing Kara since 2005. That is not correct. I have known Kara since 2005. I can also say, Maria has lived in Florida her whole life. So that's experience. So it's not just one event or one particular time. It's throughout her whole lifetime. Remember, live is also one of those words, live, work, teach, and study, where you can use the present perfect or the present perfect continuous, and they have basically the same meaning. Another example, this is with work. I've worked at this company for 20 years. And I could also say I have been working at this company for 20 years, especially if it's still ongoing and I'm currently working. But if I just want to say, express that I have accomplished and I have definitely completed 20 years of experience to this point, I can say, I've worked at this company for 20 years, and that is part of my experience. Another way that we use present perfect is with change over time. Okay, for example, my English has improved. You have grown 6 inches since the last time I saw you. Have grown. This is a change over time. He has recovered from surgery. Number 3, accomplishments. This is another way that we use the present perfect. For example, our son has learned how to read. This is an accomplishment for our son. Another example, I have earned my degree. That is an accomplishment. And number 4, an uncompleted action that you are expecting. So something that hasn't stopped yet, but you expect it to stop at some point in the future. So that's what we're focusing on, the act of something stopping. For example, Jane has not finished her homework. And I could say Jane has not finished her homework yet. For all of these, we could say yet, which is a non-specific time reference. Tom has not arrived. Or you could say Tom still has not arrived. Or Tom has not arrived yet. We're expecting him to arrive at some point, and once he does, once he arrives, it's that one action, it's accomplished. It will be accomplished, but we're kind of looking towards that. The rain hasn't stopped. So it's still raining, but we're looking ahead because once the rain stops, it's done. It stops. Number 5, multiple actions at different times. So because it's multiple actions, it's not just one specific time, but several times or at least more than once. You could say, I have had 4 tests so far, or I have had 4 tests so far this semester. Now, we have so far and this semester. This semester is specific, but because I have said so far with the non-specific time references, it kind of cancels out this semester, and we still have to use present perfect. It's because it's been from the past up to this point. So even though it is this semester, it's kind of 4 different times, okay? The army has attacked the city 5 times. So 5 separate times. That's why we use present perfect. We can't tie it to just one event. It's multiple events. So we say has attacked. We have had several offers for our house. We have received 2 complaints. Or we have received 2 complaints so far. Or you could say, we haven't received any complaints. So really in a lot of these examples, you could put a negative, that something hasn't happened yet. Okay, so those are the 5 basic ways that we use the present perfect. So for all of these, there is no specific time reference, and it indicates something that happened or existed at some point in the past. We don't know exactly when. Often it's the recent past, but it doesn't have to be. So let's kind of review these 5 ways that we use present perfect. Number 1, experience. 2, change over time. 3, accomplishments. 4, an uncompleted action that you're expecting. And 5, multiple actions at different times. Now, just for practice, see if you can make a sentence with each of these 5 ways that we use the present perfect. See if you can make a sentence that applies to yourself. Something about your experience. What country have you been to? I have been to what? Fill in the blank. Or I have never been to where? Or I have seen what? So try to make a sentence, challenge yourself, make a sentence for each one of these. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you would like part 1 and part 2 in one video together, just let me know in the comments below. I can just kind of merge these together if you'd like to have both of them. If you have any other suggestions for grammar, please drop that in the comments. Like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Happy learning, everyone.